It's rivalry week. Got to go on the road. I guess it's going to be a big noon kickoff will be there, even though it's not the big noon game of the week. They'll be down there, and so we'll have to have a great week of practice as always. Between the two teams, there's a lot of similarities statistically. Both rushing for roughly the same amount, throwing for roughly the same amount, scoring roughly the same amount. Defensively, there's a lot of similarities as well. Both in the upper third of the conference in most of the key stats, and so should make for a great matchup, and away we go. Questions?
Justin's question here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He says, great win on Saturday. With this possibly being your last rivalry game, will you please take a few moments and describe the difference between playing or coaching in these type of games, and which do you prefer?
Okay, well, remains to be seen, that the first part of your assumption, but always prefer playing. I don't think you'll come across anybody that was a player and a coach that wouldn't give you the same answer. When you're in the arena and you're playing and in the fray, there's nothing like it. And so coaching is the second best thing, but if I had a choice, there's no doubt that I'd rather be participating as a player rather than a coach.
Kyle, you're in the middle of a rare stretch where you get 6 straight weeks inside the state of Utah. Is there any advantage or benefit that you can see just being able to stay in the state that long and not having to be on the road?
Well, I guess that means that part of the season we were on the road quite a bit. I mean, it all balances out, and so I don't, as I said many times before, I don't really pay much attention to the schedule other than just tell us who we play, when, and where, and that's pretty much it. And so, but as that's kind of a unique situation, I'll agree with you on that. And I think, yeah, the less travel, the better if you had your choice, and not having to get on an airplane for a while, I think should be a positive for our team.
Well, Smith Snowden, I guess, had the opportunity to leave this offseason. What does it say about him that he stayed here at Utah, and how positive has that been for you?
Yeah, well, lots of people had the opportunity to leave. Smith one of them, and that's pretty much standard in the industry now. But Smith is a big part of our program. He played maybe his best football on Saturday night. We're elated that he's with us still, and how close he was to leaving, that may be overblown a little bit, but he's a very good player for us, and we're, like I said, glad he's on our football team and does a lot of good things for us.
What have you seen from BYU quarterback Bear Bachmeier? And do you see?
I'm just going to focus on us this week, our guys, our coaches. So I'm not going to give much thought on the opponent this week, and so really you have to ask them, what they think of Bear. So.
You said that.
What's on your mind, Sparky?
Hey, you don't want me to bring up your alma mater. You said when you first had the NIL and all that you would see a time when the top 25 would reflect the same amount of money.
Are you not seeing that now?
I'm wondering if you've seen that, and
Yes.
then in particular in the Big 12.
Oh, who's leading the Big 12 right now? Who's the team to beat? Texas Tech. Who had the most budget by far? Texas Tech. So I think yes. The short answer is yeah. I think we're seeing that play out. And it's not a complaint. It's not a, Tech, you just have all the money. It's not fair. Congratulations to them. They're committed to winning. And so it is playing out within the conference as well as on the national scene.
Coach, would be curious your thoughts on Spencer and Logan Fano and what they mean to you in your program.
Tremendous players, tremendous people. Captains, both of them. That says a ton about what our players think of them, because the players vote for those captains. Both high caliber players. It's been well documented that Spence is potentially a first round draft choice, and Logan, in my opinion, is not far behind. We're blessed to have them in our program. They do so many good things for us on and off the field, and they're really instrumental to our success, both those guys.
Kyle, tampering has been a hot topic in college football, and it's kind of become a new chasm as part of this rivalry, given guys are transferring back and forth. I'm just curious, with teams with so much money and obviously indirect sources from BYU and other players and programs across the nation, does that, I guess, enhance the stakes of the rivalry or kind of give you guys an edge in that landscape?
I don't know that it gives us an edge, and I haven't done the math. I don't know if we've lost more going down there or vice versa. I couldn't tell you. I probably should be able to tell you, but I can't. But I just think that you focus and win with the players that you have. You focus on those guys. You can't worry about who's not here, who was here. And that's an old Norm Chow axiom. He told me that. He said, just worry about the guys that you have and win with the guys that you have, and don't worry about anybody else.
Kyle, there's a lot of coaching connections in this rivalry.
Sure are. Yeah.
And Kalani's talked about in the past how much of a mentor you've been to him in his progression as a coach and in his coaching career. In what ways have you tried to mentor your former assistants and your current assistants to help them be successful?
Well, as the head coach, that's your responsibility to mentor your staff. A lot of them don't need much mentoring. They're really good coaches just on their own. They stand alone. But you're right. There's a lot of coaches down there that were here. Grateful for what they gave us while they were here. They were all outstanding for us and did an excellent job. And Kalani is a good friend of mine. That's no secret, and he's become a outstanding head coach, and that's just back to your original question is you want to do everything you can as a coach to help your assistants progress, get to the next level, whatever that may be, coordinator, head coach, somewhere else, whatever the case may be. I think that's an obligation, and one of the core responsibilities of a head coach is to try to get his staff to be able to excel and progress.
Kyle, there was a time when both you guys were in the Mountain West where both sides were kind of clamoring for the rivalry be tampered down a little bit. It was getting pretty intense between the fan bases, and then you went your separate ways, and the games weren't as significant. Now that you're back in the same conference, the intensity of last year's game, obviously, taken into consideration, do you feel like the rivalry is back to that same intensity it was?
Yeah, I think it's always been intense. For sure, and conference implications certainly add to it. And you're right, there was a period of time there where we weren't in the same conference. I think in the past, when we were in the Mountain West, and the game being held in the last slot of the season, last game of the season, that added to it as well. As of right now, it's not the case. It's dead center just about in the season, and so I think it's almost the same as it was when the Mountain West was in, when we were in there, but just not quite, because the build-up throughout the entire year to having the last game is a little bit different than playing it right in the middle, in my opinion. So,
Kyle, Parker is averaging almost 50% more yards per carry than Rogers, and Rogers routinely is getting more carries in a game. And I'm wondering, maybe the statistics don't tell the whole story. Why are carries being divided the way they are?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we've analyzed that ourselves. And the short version is Rogers is in on a lot of short yardage. He's really good downhill, get a couple yards when you need him, which is going to hurt your yards per carry, because if you're giving him the ball on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 in the goal line, deep in the red zone, that's going to affect your yards per carry. But we really like them both. I mean, they're 1 and 1A in our opinion. And Wayshawn has been hampered a little bit physically, and so not ready to, or wasn't in the past ready to carry a heavy load. But he's feeling better now, and he's certainly been really productive for us. And the best answer I can give you is a lot of Knox carries are in those short yardage goal line situations, which lend itself to less yards per carry.
Kyle, I'm curious your thoughts on your guys' run defense so far. Obviously, last week, Malik Brown was one of the leaders in the conference on rushing. How would you assess the run defense so far this season?
5 out of the 6 weeks, really good. The Tech game, we weren't very good defending the run, and I'm a big believer that physicality wins games, and if you can impose your will and run the ball on people and defend the run on defense, your chances of winning go way up, and that's something that we strive to do, is be stingy against the run on defense and be able to run it on O. And when we're doing that, we're pretty darn good. And when we're not, we're pretty average.
Last year, you guys obviously struggled to move the ball on offense. This year, you're one of the most efficient offenses in the country. Is it as simple as Jason Beck and Devin Dampier? Kind of what goes into that whole recipe that's allowed you to be so successful?
Well, that's a big part of it. Those two are a big part of what we're doing, and a big part of the reason for our success. Pointing back to the offensive line, obviously, still as high on the offensive line now as I was at the beginning of the season, and they really played their best game this past week. And so I think that it's a combination of having an outstanding O-line, Jason's scheme and play calling, Devin's dynamic ability, at the quarterback position. And so I think that is probably the reason that we're having success on offense.
Kyle, Devin, and so many other players have never played in this rivalry before just because they're transfers.
Yeah.
How do you, approach this week, educating players on the intensity, the atmosphere and all that, given there's so many new players?
Yeah, well, first of all, the half that have played in this game or have been in the program at least more than a year, do a good job of educating the guys on what the rivalry is all about. We also take a small segment in the team meeting on Monday, which will happen today, educating the new guys a little bit of the history. It's not a long, extensive thing, but just the history of the rivalry and more, just the tradition and what's happened in the past and just how, just on a national scene, it's one of the better rivalries in the country, in my opinion. And so we do take a few minutes in a team meeting, have a presentation, and try to do the best we can to educate them. But that's not nearly as important as practicing well and studying your film and the game plan and all that stuff. But it certainly is a part of it.
Two more Dana than Steve.
The familiarity on both sides with the coaching staffs, is that kind of a wash as far as their philosophy, they know your philosophy, and the players, there's a lot of crossovers there. Or is there any advantage there?
No, I would say you hit it on the head. It's a wash. I mean, we both know each other so well, and it's I don't see advantage one side or the other as far as that dynamic goes.
Coach, you talked about Devin Dampier feeling better, and I'd be curious to get your thoughts on prioritizing more rest this season because of this next stretch of your schedule.
Yeah, we have definitely done that, and we did it more so in the bye week than we've ever done as far as downtime. I think it paid off. I think our guys were completely fresh in the game on Saturday, and that's and with the numbers, your roster number is going to keep shrinking until it gets to 105 because that's what the new limit. And the only reason you can be above that is if you have grandfathered players that don't count against that cap. But we're still about 10 players below where we usually are, and then next year we'll probably be 8 or 10 players less, and eventually in a year or two get to that 105. And so preservation is a key. It's not like the NFL where we can make a trade or have a waiver wire to pick guys up on them. We got who we got, and along with everybody else, obviously. And so I think that's a trend that you see pretty much across the country, is that you better be careful with how physical you are in practice and what you do, because you got limited resources, limited players, and you better take care of them. And it's not like we used to beat them to a pulp, but we certainly had more. Yeah. Yeah. Good call.